Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Lawyered Up. I am your host, Jared Moore, and for the record, I am not a lawyer. Today's program is going to be really short. It's just a quick update on what happened at Representative Robin Whitecloud's court date on June 1st. It's been a couple of days since then, and I got caught up doing some other stuff, and the update's very short. So, and then there's a couple other things I wanted to direct you guys' attention to that's on our website that you, if you're interested, you could read. So without further ado, on the June 1st court date, if you guys have been following the coverage on this story, Mvskoke Creek Nation National Council Representative Robin Whitecloud has been charged with 4 felonies. And we're just covering the various cases. The various court dates. Last court date, they had some discussion, if you remember, about whether the motions and then the Attorney General's was going to extend a plea deal to her. So in today's June 1st court date, Representative Whitecloud was in court. Her legal representation, Ryan Kanani, was joining court proceedings via a video call. And basically, he told the judge that he had the same day received from the AG's office a plea bargain deal, and he needed some more time to talk about it, discuss it with his client. So the judge seemed a little perturbed that the AG's office had waited until the day of court to extend that offer, but she granted the time, and so the next court date in this case is going to be July 6th. So on July 6th, I'll be in court again, and I'll let you guys know what happened. And that's the update. It's not really an update. Nothing really happened other than we got another month to wait to see what's going to happen there. Moving on, you guys may have seen, and again, the links to these stories are in the description of this video. You guys may have seen the news about the Mvskoke Creek Nation and Tulsa settlement agreement and the ruling at the Oklahoma Supreme Court. So what the Oklahoma Supreme Court found was that, now, before I start talking about this, I want to tell you guys, this doesn't affect the cross-deputization agreement between Mvskoke Creek Nation and the city of Tulsa. So as far as policing, this isn't going to change anything. There was a separate part of the agreement that MCN did with Tulsa that was called the settlement agreement that did some things like establish some committees in the city government that would have representatives from Creek Nation and other native groups on to make sure that the policing they had a say in the policing. And that's the settlement agreement part. So the Oklahoma Supreme Court basically said that part, the settlement agreement, needed to have approval from the governor's office and this committee. Let me scroll down and read the name of the committee in the legislature. The Joint Committee on State Tribal Relations is the other committee. So that joint committee and the governor need to sign off on anything in the agreement, and then it can be enforceable legally. And that's where we are. So it doesn't have anything to do with race or anything like maybe some of the statements you've heard online. So and if you guys want to read any of the filings with the Oklahoma Supreme Court or anything, it's in the story there. And then the third thing I wanted to talk about, to call you guys' attention toward, was the Oklahoma Supreme Court's decision in the Tlaloc leadership dispute. So you guys may have remembered we were talking about there's a leadership dispute at Tlaloc Tribal Town, and they had filed a case in I think it's Mvskoke District Court. Is that right? Yes, Mvskoke District Court. Anyway, that case, or the challenges to that case eventually got to the Oklahoma Supreme Court, and the Oklahoma Supreme Court basically said this, that in order for this case to get into court, there has to be a waiver of sovereign immunity, and because the issue at hand in these cases is who's actually in charge of the tribal town, they can't accept a sovereign, if any court accepts a waiver of sovereign immunity, that court is also saying that whoever gave that waiver is obviously in charge, and they can't do that. See, so it's kind of create this conundrum. And the ultimate ruling that they made was that the state courts can't exercise jurisdiction and make those type of decisions, so they can't hear these cases until that gets resolved internally or somewhere else. And they mentioned tribal court, but I think they would, to get into the Creek Nations court, they would also have to have some type of waiver of sovereign immunity. If you guys remember, I think it was last year or the year before, there was a big case where the Tlaptlaco tribal town had gone all the way to, I think, the Fifth Circuit or in the federal level, and got a decision saying that they could withdraw a waiver of sovereign immunity, right? So if they can withdraw it, I don't know how, like they had to have it to get into court in that instance. So at the end of the day, we don't know what court this case is going to continue in, or if we'll ever see anything. I've been checking in to see if anything gets filed at the federal level or anything gets filed at the Creek Nation. At the state level, we won't see anything because that's what the Oklahoma Supreme Court is saying. So with that being said, that's it, guys. It's a short, lawyered up this time, and everything else, we're still waiting on some type of decisions. The porch ban case is still out there. There's been an extension. The appeal to the MCN versus Kunzweiler case is still out there. There's been an extension of time in the filings for that. But as soon as anything major happens, I'll let you guys know, and we'll do a lawyered up on it. And I look forward to hearing from you in the future. Keep an eye out for our channel here on Friday, because we're going to have a special premiere that's going to come out, and you guys just check it out when it comes out. And thanks for tuning in. Mado, Hadum, Chihichat, Lees.